I'm not going to be as exciting as Brother Lee. I wrote this poem some time ago, and I thought it was really good to share. It's called The Daily Poison. I looked in the mirror, what did I see? A familiar face, I thought, but could that really be me? The sad truth had brought me to disgrace. How did I? Well, marks to record or record every trace. Every trace of life when I shunned to do right. Every sin I committed that led to the ruin of my life. First they started seemingly innocent and small, then bold and knowledgeable and destructive towards all. This poison, like others, has no regard of age or race. It doesn't matter who you are. If it's in, it will pollute the taste. It will work itself within and without. It will move to the core of your being and reflect without. Even if one recovers, it leaves deep scars without a doubt. But there is a cure, and it will set you free. And Jesus is whispering, this cure is me. It's not going to church or trying to do good, but it's living for God just like mankind should. Every sin will bow down and flee and be forgiven by Jesus to the highest degree. It doesn't take years of time. It's instant with a willing heart and surrendered mind. Will you allow this poison to ruin your body and soul? Please take this invitation and let Jesus make you whole. The cure is available and it's free, but the choice is yours. So what will it be? A few thoughts regarding the effects of sin. I just have 3 small points. The first one is sin will take you far from God. And I was just thinking of the prodigal son and how he wandered so far. If somebody can find that passage, we can read a little bit of that. Starting with verse 11. Brother Frankie, if you don't mind reading.
And he said, a certain man had 2 sons. And the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that fall to me. And he divided unto him his living. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country. And there wasted his substance with riotous living. When he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in the land, and he began to be in want. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into his field to feed swine. And he would fain have filled his belly with the husk that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. And when he came to himself, he said, how many hired servants of my father's have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger.
Okay, that's fine. Verse 13, it says, and not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with righteous living. And I just was thinking how he wandered afar. He ended up somewhere that he didn't intend to be. Just like this poem I was reading, it was just like, after a while, you're just like, how did I end up here? How did I do this? How did I get so far? I mean, I think about people in my own family, you know, who just have illegitimate kids and, I mean, don't got no money, don't got nothing to show for themselves. And it's just like, all that is from the effects of sin. You know, you supporting a guy, you supporting your kids, you doing all this, you wasting yourself, and you just, one day you just realize, you wake up and like, how did I get so far? So one point is, sin will take you so far from God, further than you intended that you would go.
My God.
A second point is, sin is binding. The devil wants to get us so entangled that we can't escape. He wants to get us so bound up that you can't escape. And I just feel like there's some people out there that really want to be saved, that even feel like, you know, hey, I got even a mind just to be saved. I really want to be saved, but they so bound up. they got, what am I gonna do with these, these kids or with this guy, or now I'm making fast money and all these different things. They just so bound up. And even I was thinking of my aunt. About 3 years ago, she passed away, and she was on her deathbed. I think it was 3 years ago, but anyway, she was on her deathbed, and I really believe the lifestyle that she lived got her so caught up that even though she was bedridden, she was leaving this world, it was like she was just so caught up. She couldn't even, I don't know, maybe she was thinking, I can't go without another slow jam, or I can't go without my boyfriend, or I can't go without this drinking and all. Even though she was bedridden, it's like, you are really never going to do those things again. She just was so caught up. And one day, I believe it was the last time that I had saw her, I left work, after work, I went over there with her, and I just could sense that, time was drawing near and that she was leaving. So I went over there, and it was late, people was around her bed or whatever, but I just really didn't want to leave without an opportunity to speak to her. And eventually I got that opportunity that night to speak with her, and I just was like, she wasn't really talking or nothing. She was still kind of aware of things, but she wasn't able to, speak on them. And so I'm like, Aunt, I want you just to squeeze my hand, You hear what I'm saying? Just squeeze my hand. And she couldn't do that anymore, but she moved her hand. So I'm like, okay, I believe she can hear me. And I'm like, can you just tell me, do you want to be saved? I said, you're not alone. I will be with you. I will be with you all night. I stay here. I'll pray with you. It don't matter. I'll go all the way through this thing with you. But just let me know. Do you want to be saved? I stay here and pray and all that. And she shook her head no. And that's an experience I don't tell a lot of people. But I really believe that she just got so caught up that it's like, okay, even though I'm here at this stage of life, I can't just say, no, I'm not going to do that stuff again. If I have the strength to do it, I will. Her friends would come from out of town and just whisper some in her ear like, girl, we gonna do this, we need to get out to those clubs. And she was like, yeah, and all that. Not knowing that in a few weeks, you're not going to do that stuff again. You're not going to see those same friends no more. You're not going to see no liquor bottle. You're not going to see no boyfriend again. You're not getting that again. So sin is binding. And even when you get to your last, don't think that your mind is going to totally change. So some people can even try to say, yeah, I'm saved, I got saved, I got it. But still, their mind is not really with it. Their mind is still caught up in what they were doing and the things that they did for so long. And the last point is, sin is unsatisfying. And it's just like, times I would think about like, you know what, I have gone and I have do this and I have do that, but it still leaves you empty. You waste yourself, you do all that, but it's still so unsatisfying. I got saved young, I got saved at 15, but it was like still. Sometimes I reflect and think about when I was at that time point in life, I really had things lined up. Everything I wanted at that point, I had. I got saved in March. It was right before the summertime. I had summer clothes lined up. I had friends at school, and I had a little boy I wanted to talk to, all that. But it was still so unsatisfying. I'm just like, why do I feel so empty? I got all this stuff. I can't wait to wear these clothes, and I'm still just, what? I knew I was missing something. I didn't know what it was, but I was just like, God, you know what? I'll just give you a try. I'm not sure if it's all in there, but I said, I'm going to just give you a try. And I'm just so thankful. When I got saved, the actual prayer I prayed that broke me through, I felt the difference already. I'm just like, wow, just one prayer can do that? Well, I'm going to keep praying. I'm going to keep going. And I'm so thankful. And I just learned, through praying, through reading, through fasting, it really works. You really get inspiration, strength from that, and it just really works.
Yes.
And just to anybody who just feels like they can't do it, and you might have a lot going on or whatever, God really does renew your mind. He really does things I'm thinking I ain't gonna be able to deal with that, all that. he really like transformed your mind. I can't really describe it, but when I got saved, it was just like, oh, okay, like I can do this. And then, you know, somebody asked me a question not too long ago. It was just like, Vaity, you know, what would you say to an unsaved person if they had to deal with this? And I said, I would tell them, God renews your mind. Like, sometimes you just think about that stuff like, I don't know how I deal with it. But he will really renew your mind. And then two, we got a great lot of witnesses.
My God.
You know, Saturday night when we had that prayer service, you know, we was, different ones was talking about, reflecting on personal issues.
Come on.
I'm like, you know what? You're not the only one that's going through this. It's been other saints that went through that, other people, you know.
Right.
It's a great cloud. I don't care if you're saved in high school, if you're going to be saved in college. It don't matter. It's people right here among you that the very situation you're dealing with, they're dealing with it, or have dealt with it victoriously. And one thing, the effect of salvation is, I'm so thankful that there's purpose. You know, like Sister Alicia was saying, every day, new mercies I see. The longer I get saved, I'm just learning more and more. Like, there is really purpose to your life. Like, God is the infinite being. And so he's the one that gives you the inspiration, that gives you wisdom. So when you're talking to people, it's just like, I'm not just saying some words that sound good, but what I'm giving to you is God-given. It's something that the highest power gives to me that I can give to you. My sister, my older sister, you know, she's trying to do this positive website. It's pretty good and all that, but it's just like, you don't have to just give somebody something that's okay or kind of good, but you're giving them something that's godly. You know what I'm saying? You're able to help affect society. You're able to help in your classroom, in your workplace. It was something. This summer, somebody was like, Vaity, do you know such and such? And I'm like, yeah. We work at the same workplace or whatever. And it was like, oh my gosh, he thinks so much of you. He thinks you are the best Christian. And I'm like, really? I barely even say 2 words to that person. Like, but it's still something that you can give in your atmosphere, in your world, in your environment that the next person can't give. You know, I ran into this girl at the store who I used to go to school with. And I was just able to offer her something. You know, she's claiming to be saved and all this stuff. Kind of in a messy situation, messy experience. But I was able to offer her something like, you know, you can do it. You know, you can really be saved. You can give this up. And just all that, just being able to offer that the next person something is just purpose to being saved. Amen. And if we can turn to Matthew 13.
Yes.
Verse 44 through 46.
Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto treasure hid in a field, that which when a man hath found, he hideth, and for joy thereof goeth and selleth all that he hath, and buyeth that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a merchant man seeking goodly pearls, who when he had found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had and bought it.
I just feel like this is my experience. I feel like I have that pearl of great price. You know, when I first got saved, it was just kind of a matter of faith. Like I had to really, I didn't have too much to offer God. I mean, it's good to get saved at a young age because God can, you know, direct your life and it's the prime of your life, so He's able to, you know, make your life really into something. But I just felt like this. It says, who, when a man found one pearl of great price, he went and sold all he had and bought it. And I just feel like to be saved, I made such, you know, a big investment. It was like a better investment. I had to believe like, okay, this pearl is something good. I believe salvation is something. I don't understand the way they look and all this, but I believe there's something there. And so I went and I took, you know, whatever I had, whatever was keeping me from getting saved, and I just offer it to God, like, God, you know, here, because I believe what you're going to give me is so much better. And I just feel like today I have that pearl of great price. It just seems like it gets better, you know, it gets sweeter as the days go by. I mean, the experience with God, it just gets stronger, it gets deeper. I'm just so thankful. I just feel like I really have that pearl of great price, and it didn't matter. Like now I look back, like the cost don't even matter, because really what you're getting is just so much better. Brother Frankie was saying, I think it was last week or recently, how when you outside looking in, you just like, okay, they dressing like that, they doing that, they always going to church. But it's like, until you experience it for yourself, it's so much better. Like once you experience it, when you're looking at it, it's just like, okay, it probably ain't always cracked up to me, but it really is. Like having the experience, it's like, it is so much more. I wish it was an outward way to show how good salvation is, because it's like when you look, you just don't. Like, I don't get it, I don't see it, but it's really in not just dressing a certain way, not just coming to church, but it's really in the actual experience, and I'm so thankful. Hope that blessed me.